What's something your gender does that the opposite gender never even thinks about? I don't think most men realize how much invisible math women do just to feel okay. Last year, my husband and I were at a rooftop party. Crowded, loud. We knew maybe 5 people there. At some point, he wandered off to get drinks and I stayed near the railing. Within 2 minutes, a guy appeared next to me, stood a little too close, said something. I laughed politely. He moved closer. I shifted. He shifted too. I texted my husband, "Come back, now." Smiley face so it didn't seem dramatic. He came back, saw me smiling, assumed everything was fine. Later in the car, he asked, "Why did you text me?" I said, "That guy wasn't leaving." He said, "What guy?" I said, "The one in the gray hoodie by the railing." He said, "I didn't even notice anyone." Of course he didn't, because he didn't have to. That's the thing. When my husband walks into a room, he's thinking about the music or the food or who he knows. When I walk into a room, I'm already scanning. Where are the exits? Who's looking too long? Which corner feels safe? Which group of women could I stand near if I needed to? I do this automatically, every single time. I asked my friends, every single one of them does the same thing. One always positions herself with her back to the wall. One never puts her drink down at a party, even if it's empty, because picking up a new one means starting over. Another has a code word she texts her sister, just the word pineapple. It means come get me or call me right now. None of us ever sat down and decided to do these things. We just started doing them at some point, without realizing it. A few weeks after the party, my husband and I went to a concert. On the way back to the car, I grabbed his arm and pulled us toward a different route. He asked why. I said, "That group ahead." He looked confused. He said they were just guys walking. I said, "I know. But there were 4 of them and it was a narrow path and it was midnight and I didn't feel like doing the calculation tonight." He went quiet. He said, "What calculation?" I said, "The one where I figure out whether to cross the street or speed up or pretend to take a call or just hope nothing happens." He didn't say anything for a long time. Then he said, "You do that all the time, don't you?" I said, "Yeah, I really do." The moment that finally broke through to him happened 3 months later. I was flying solo to visit my sister. He dropped me off and I said, "I'll text you when I land." He said, "Okay, have fun." I landed. I texted. He replied with a thumbs up. I sent my Uber details, screenshot of the driver, license plate, the works. He called me. He goes, "What is all this?" I said, "In case something happens." He goes, "You really think about that?" I said, "Every single time I'm alone in a car with a stranger, I don't know." Yes, there was silence. He said, "I just get in and put my headphones on." I laughed. I said, "I know. And I genuinely don't think that's a bad thing. That's the life you get to have. That's what it looks like when the background app isn't running." Later that night, he texted me. He said, "I looked it up. I've been reading things. I had no idea this was so common." I said, "Most women never talk about it because it's not dramatic. It's just Tuesday." He said, "That's exactly what scares me." And I think that's the part that's hard to explain to someone who's never had to live it. It's not one big terrifying moment. It's 1,000 tiny adjustments every single day. A rerouted walk, a fake phone call, a text that says, "Made it home," because someone needs to know you made it home. It's not fear exactly. It's more like a second language you learned so young you don't even remember learning it, and you're fluent, whether you wanted to be or not.